This is the Steve Gruber Show. You know, here in search of the truth every single day, digging deeper, with your help, of course. Here are three big things you need to know right now. Number one, a federal judge has, for now, slammed the door on the Biden administration's rules for transgender bathrooms and locker rooms. That could be a big setback for the blue agenda. Number two, in Texas, a stunning report about the failures of law enforcement in the Uvalde school massacre. It's heartbreaking to the families of 19 kids and 2 teachers, many of whom could have survived. And number three, fist bumps and failure. That would pretty well sum up the last few days and the pathetic mission to grovel at the feet of Saudi Arabia to beg for more oil. Joe Biden, having promised to bankrupt the American energy sector as a candidate for president, is doing his best to follow through on that strange proclamation now that he is in office. He went to meet a man he said he would not, Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, the Saudi crown prince, to plead for more output of oil. And in one of the most controversial things yet, he fist bumped the murder of an American journalist and honestly made himself a fool. And Biden didn't visit Texas, Alaska, or North Dakota to discuss energy. No, instead, he went to a country he promised to label a pariah nation when he ran for president, to look for answers instead of right here in America. Why? You have to ask why. Well, because the Green New Dealers are not following science. They're following a religious movement. No dissent is allowed. Not now and not ever. And instead of realizing his whole green energy obsession is going to get rejected completely over the next couple of years, which, by the way, will leave the left with nothing to show for their efforts, and in fact, they may find themselves they've lost ground on that green religion because they're completely overplaying their hand. Biden and the bunny huggers and the zealots are plowing blindly ahead and plowing under America along the way. They're just turning a blind eye to the plight of the middle class and the pain being inflicted across, well, the entire nation, really, where food banks and homeless shelters are bracing for an increased demand because of Biden's economy. It's a demand they may not be able to handle, by the way. The high cost of energy in all its forms is plowing under American family budgets and the dreams of millions right now, plowing under any chance of retirement or staying retired for many, plowing under the idea of putting in a few less hours and plowing under a lot more. You see, the high cost of energy, it is a direct result of the reckless policies attacking American energy that began on day one for these clowns. Everything costs more. You know, I went to the mall yesterday. Not how I normally spend 2 or 3 hours on a weekend, but it was an education. And it's kind of fun, actually, but it was an education. Looking at shoes, Nikes, for example, or any kind of basic black tennis shoes for my kids was jaw-dropping. You can hardly find a pair of tennis shoes under $100. Most were double that. No wonder parents are shell-shocked by Biden's disastrous policies and the damage being done to their wallet. The inflation, delivered by the reckless spending of trillions of dollars, flooding into the economy, is plowing under what at first looked like pretty good gains in wages for American workers. But now, those raises, those gains, are running so far behind the rising cost of everything, they're meaningless. With the consumer price index at 9.1%, that's the inflation rate they're giving us, and many of us understanding it's actually about double that, it's no wonder people are so worried right now and scared to death they will be the next ones to get plowed under by the Biden plans and the socialist ideas. Gas is up 60% from last year, double what it was when President Biden stumbled into the Oval Office. Fuel oil is up nearly 100% from last year. Meat up over 10%. Milk jumped 16%. Eggs 33%. Coffee 16%. And cars, both new and used, too expensive to even discuss for most families anymore. But President Disaster and the clowns still think you should just run out and buy an electric car. Because, you know, spending $60,000 will save you a couple $100 each month at the gas pump. That is true Democrat math right there. True Democrat math. Well, I saved money. You spent $60,000. Yeah, but look how much money I saved. Let's not forget who is really getting plowed right now. Farmers. From here to the Netherlands. diesel, fertilizer, and the war on agriculture in general is making it nearly impossible for many. In fact, farm foreclosures continue at a very dangerous pace, near record pace, and that means that food security in this nation, our nation, America, food security for a nation that has produced more food than any in history is coming. We could actually be facing food shortages and real challenges in the not-too-distant future. That's not just coming from me. It's coming from people across the board. But don't worry. Don't worry. China and other nations are buying up the farmland, and I'm quite sure they'll be willing to put it to your best use and your best interest. The idea of home ownership. It's getting plowed under right now, too. The days of 2% and 3% mortgages are just a memory. They will likely never return. Some would say that's a good thing. The question is, would you? American pride in some places is also getting plowed under, but that will not last. Because we are rising, you and I. And we will rise above the incompetence of these fools in Washington. Maybe it's incompetence, maybe it's intentional. Doesn't matter. We will get rid of the socialists and the communists that wander among us. I walk among sheep, but I will not stand it. We'll get a shot at rebuilding this great nation. We will. But you have to make sure you don't get plowed under by all the things that you're seeing. And know we can and we will do better in the days to come. We will get our hands back on the wheel. And President Disaster will get the boot before the point of no return. But there's some things you must do. You must get involved. You can't sit there and complain about 2020. Yes, we must investigate it. Yes, we must know everything about it. Yes, we must continue to turn over every leaf and every stone. But you must vote against every single person that supports what is currently happening in our country. You must vote for America First candidates. I don't know who will end up running for the White House in 2 years, and right now, it's not that important. Right now, we have to correct what we can and go from there. This is a critical time in American history, and you have the power to get involved and make a difference, and you know it. And you must do it. We all must. As I have told you for years on this program, it starts at the schoolhouse. Before you get to the courthouse or the houses on Main Street, it starts at the schoolhouse. Get involved with who's on your school board. Then look to city council, the county commission, local races, county races, all races. You vote for the people that believe in this country, not the ones that want to control you and tell parents they have no word. Not the ones that want to control you and tell your kids about sexual relationships in the second grade. No, we don't accept that anymore. Not at all. Let children be children. Let the innocence persist. At least a little bit longer. We've got a lot to talk about here today and this week. So don't go anywhere. Good to have you on board. It's the Steve Gruber Show. I'll be right back.